What's up guys, Monarchs here, and welcome to another test hand video. Today we're going to be doing Xyz Monarchs, Zulkin Monarchs, Synchro Monarchs, Extra Deck Monarchs, or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, basically just Extra Deck Monarchs. We're going to be doing some test hands, but also we're going to be doing a little bit of a tournament report. Somebody I think asked how I did with this deck in the last deck profile. And by the way, if you want to see a deck profile for this deck, it hasn't really changed much except for I added a second e-tele and cut a domain, and I think that's pretty much all I changed. Nothing changed in the extra deck really, or the main deck other than that change that I mentioned. But yeah, like I said, I went X1 in 4 rounds, ended up winning the $15 store credit going X1. So that was pretty cool for a free tournament. And also got a free pack out of it. Didn't pull anything good, but hey, free pack's a free pack. But like I said, it went X1. Round 1 I played against Cosmo, won that 2-1. Game 3 was pretty cool to be able to go using Zulkin to basically just win the game. I went into a Durandal. He chained to summon something hand. I chained Durandal's effect to shuffle hands back into the deck. He didn't draw into a ship, and then I basically went into Zulkin from there, and it was a game over. Round 2 I played against Pendulums, lost 2-0. That was my only loss, but I lost to a good player, so I guess I'm alright with that. Then round 3 I played against Atlantean Mermail. Actually, a guy that who said apparently he's watched some of my videos before, and he got the Steam Synchron play for me, so I thought that was pretty cool. So it was fun to play against him. Had a good match. I won that 2-1, and then next round, final round, we went on to play Raid Raptors. Actually, in the final round, and I won that 2-1. I lost game 2 because he kept making Ultimate Falcon. Like, his build was really efficient at turning out Ultimate Falcon, and I just could not deal with it. I ran out of Stormforce, couldn't get rid of the Ultimate Falcon anymore, and I just lost and picked it up, went to game 3. There, Flying Seed pretty much won me the duel in that game, so that's how that went. Pretty proud of actually how the deck went. I think the only thing that could have been better is just my play style, so that's why we're going to go do some test hands right now. Just drawing some random, probably first turn hands, just because this deck usually wants to go first. We'll see what kind of hands we can get. Like I said, deck worked really well. Other than that, it's probably just my playing that could have improved to probably give me that win against Pendulums. Definitely made some mistakes in that matchup. Like, I think I went to Zulkin, and instead of summoning Crystal Wing, I summoned Clear Wing. I don't know why I did that, and it just outright lost me the game. So yeah, entirely my fault. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and do some test hands. We'll do 1, 2, 3, a couple of them. I don't know how many we'll do. We'll see how long it takes. See what kind of first turn fields we can turn out. You guys know how the drill goes. So yeah, go ahead and fast forward, do a little more shuffling, and then we'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, so we're all shuffled up. I'm going to draw a first turn hand here. We'll see what we can get. Aether, oh my god, Quick Draw Synchron, Stormforce, and the last card is Blue Layer. Alright, that's a little bit of a janky hand. Not really liking that too much. The only thing I see that we can do is summon Blue Layer, search Red Layer, set Stormforth, and pass. That's all I really see to do. We could summon the Quick Draw Synchron, discard the Aether, and do that play, but like other than that, I don't really see the point of that, because and it would really help if we had a Tribute Summon monster, because what we could do is that I wanted to be able to abuse the Aether effect in the turn, because we could just use this during standby phase, banish it for this effect, tribute the Tribute Summon monster. But I think the only thing we do this turn is go search a Red Layer, or we could summon this out at 2400 defense and just hope we draw into something good. Other than that, this hand is just kind of weird. But these type of hands happen, I guess. One thing I wanted to try playing was like 1 copy of Trade-In or something, or like Advanced Draw, and like the Mirror Match, just to clear your field, so they don't have anything to tribute, like can't use their Stormforce and stuff. I don't know, just be a thought of mine to just trying to be like, kind of be like in the Necroz Mirror Match, people were trying to get rid of their Valks and stuff off their board, so they wouldn't get trished, things like that. But that was kind of a weird hand. Maybe we'll shuffle a little better, do a little pile shuffle this time, and see if we can't get an actual good hand to work with. But you know, sometimes that's how Yu-Gi-Oh goes. Let's see here. Alright, let's see what we grab here. Return Stormforth, Zaborg, Pantheism, and Erebus. Alright, I'm liking this hand. Something we can finally work with. Now we do have a choice here. We do have Pantheism and a Return and a Stormforth. So we have to have two candidates for the Pantheism to use to get some draw power. I think I'm going to ditch the Return though, just being the better choice, because if we want to, we can just search through Tenacity to get ourselves a Return, you know, with the Pantheism, etc., etc. So let's draw two cards, Instant Fusion and a Return. Okay, well that paid off. We didn't even need to worry about searching another Return. Alright, so we'll go Pantheism, we'll go search another card. I think we're going to go grab 3 copies of Tenacity, and just to save time, I should pull one out there, because obviously I still have the other copies in deck, none in my hand, none in grave. So there's Tenacity. We activate Tenacity, send that to the grave. We could go grab another Pantheism if you want, if we need more cards, which I'm actually kind of tempted to do, because we did draw an Instant Fusion, so we might not even need the Return, because if we can draw on something good, we can go for the Zulkin play. So that might be helpful. So let's do another Pantheism. We won't be able to use its graveyard effect, but if we draw into something nice, you know, it'll definitely pay off. So Pantheism, discard, Return to the grave. Let's see, we draw Aether and a Karaz. Okay. Not half bad, not half bad. We are going first, so we don't want to summon Zaborg, because Zaborg will have to blow himself up. The one thing I think we could do now is, and it's actually good that we got rid of the Return, because there's no way we're going to be able to use this turn without getting, because the only way we're going to get a summon off is by using this Instant Fusion. Well, I guess that wouldn't have mattered, because we couldn't, yeah, we actually needed to do that Pantheism, because we couldn't have summoned the Zaborg out without it just destroying itself, and we're just going to lose the search just because we need to draw power for this turn, I guess. So we'll go Instant Fusion, we'll pay 1,000, we'll summon out Norden, because we want to keep the Panzer Dragon in deck, and then we could, you know, we just have to summon the Karaz, and then we could opt to blow itself up to draw another card, but I think I just want to keep him on the board and set a Stormforth, and that way we can use Aether during our opponent's turn. So I'll move this banished card over here, keep this graveyard here, put this banished card there. Try to keep things somewhat organized so you guys can see what's going on. Hand up here, up there. We have a set Stormforth, so during their turn we can flip the Stormforth up, banish, you know, any one of the Monarch spell traps in our grave, and then summon the Aether out and do some disruption plays there. So it's a pretty solid turn going first. We definitely have some player disruption, you know, either through the Stormforth or through the Aether. We can summon out another Karaz, pops on the other side of the field, pops on the other side of the field, get some draws, and then a red layer coming to us next turn. If, you know, anything else happens, just a random draw. Not too bad. Not a bad turn though. That was actually a decent turn. We were able to gain some advantage and do some disruption during our opponent's turn. So actually pretty happy with that. It's a pretty solid hand. We'll take it with a grain of salt, and we're just going to go ahead and shuffle up here, and we'll see what happens in the next hand. See what we grab for this one. Foolish, Return, Idea, Blue Layer, and a Karaz. Alright, that's actually a pretty nice turn. I'm actually a fan of this turn. So, and the nice thing about drawing this Foolish, so basically if you didn't open any other Monarch, the nice thing about this Foolish right here, since we open Return, we can Foolish the Return, or not Foolish Return, Foolish the Erebus, send the Return, add the Erebus to our hand, and now we have a play if we want to go to the first turn Erebus play. But I don't know if I want to do that. It may be the better play, honestly, but I don't, because we could go Karaz. Like what we could do is go Idea, summon Eidos, if, you know, assuming they don't have Valor, because obviously they have Valor, because their turn is pretty much over. Then we could go Return, tribute away the Idea, leave the Eidos on board, I guess, put the Idea in grave, pop the Karaz and the Return after we get our search, draw 2 cards, and then see where we're at from there. I think that would be the better play, because then at that point we have the ability to maybe draw into a Pantheism or Stormforth or an Aether, something that's going to be very, very helpful to disrupt our opponent's plays. Because that's the one thing I always find to do is, You want to gain advantage for yourself, but you always want to be in the position to be able to stop your opponent's plays, because I think that's what makes this deck so strong, is Stormforth, and not only Stormforth, but the ability to be able to you know, do a whole bunch of stuff during your opponent's turn, be able to summon primes, send stuff from your deck to grave, summon stuff out. It's absolutely absurd. So then we'll activate this. Now we're completely locked out of the extra deck this turn because we've already used these guys effective, and this is on field. But I mean, if we were to get rid of the return, we could still summon, but these guys have completely locked us out. So we'll tribute, then we'll go Chainlink 2, Chainlink 1. We want our Karaz to not miss timing. So I think at this point we could go search an Erebus if we wanted to, but I think I'm going to grab Aether instead, just in case we don't end up drawing into it. I think I'd rather grab Aether because we don't need escalation to summon it during our opponent's turn. We just need that Stormforth to be able to tribute something away, you know, from their side of the field for disruption, but we already have the tribute summon monster, but I guess we're going to get rid of that. Or Karaz doesn't have to pop himself, we can just pop these two. I think that's what I'll do actually. We'll pop these two. We'll draw cards, because now we have this to summon. We have the Monarchs Power Trap engraved to banish. Draw into a Karaz and a Pantheism. Okay, that kind of sucks actually. I have no discard fodder for that. So that's kind of weird. So I guess we have to pass at that point, just leaving our Karaz here. Only being able to summon this during our opponent's turn by way of using return, banish that out of the grave for Aether. Foolish is not really necessary right now because we don't have any banish Monarchs Power Trap. We can send the other idea from deck to grave. That's why I like playing the 2 idea and the 1 Eidos, because they have that late game utility. I think someone mentioned, you know, they didn't agree with the 2 idea 1 Eidos, and I had to explain to them like, well, it's usually for that foolish target late game, and I think we'll see that utility here if we just play this out, you know, during our opponent's turn. Like I said, we won't be able to get the Stormforth disruption that we want, but I guess it's better than nothing. So we'll go Aether, tribute the tribute summon monster, get that out of here, summon our Aether, then we'll send, we'll probably go Prime Monarch, and I don't want to send a Pantheism to grave, but I kind of do, because we do need to get a Monarchs Power Trap to our hand somehow, and then we'll summon an Erebus to our side of the field, because that'll bounce back to our hand, so that'll be pretty nice, and we'll be able to search a Stormforth, maybe grab an Escalation to do the Erebus play during our opponent's turn, so that'll be cool. And we can also actually get back the Pantheism with the Foolish, so that's nice. Because we'll be able to send the Adia if we don't draw into it right now. So end phase, let's say this bounces back. We draw return, we draw instant fusion. That's absolutely nuts. So this hand is getting pretty bonkers right now. End phase, now we want to summon the Prime. We need to keep the Prime engraved because we want to banish this. Because we need to search. So we banish this. We could search 3 Stormforths. We could do all that. We could normal summon this. We get a red layer, Foolish, add one of these back, instant fusion, do a whole lot of stuff. Maybe be able to go into the extra deck to make a you know, Xyz play or synchro play, depending on what we draw into. But yeah, that's going to go on to be a pretty good game overall for us. I think from a basic standpoint, no need to really go on any further. You know, I like to keep the test hands pretty short and not keep playing out imaginary turns. But, you know, it's just kind of nice to be like, you know, what would happen, you know, if we were able to go into this, you know, next turn like this, you know, if we were given this card, stuff like that. Go ahead and shuffle it up a little more, and we'll do 1 or 2 more test hands and see where we're at. Alright, let's see what we get here. Tenacity, Aether, it's already a decent turn. Erebus and Stormforth and Blue Layer. There's that pesky Blue Layer again. I guess we go grab Pantheism. We need Pantheism, so we'll reveal those. We'll reveal this, I guess. Go grab Pantheism. We need draw power. That's what we need right now. It's exactly the thing we need. Too bad this wasn't a Prime Monarch. Pantheism, discard Stormforth. That may seem like a foolish idea, but whatever, we gotta draw cards. E-Telly, that was worth it. That was honestly worth it. Because now we can special summon this out without wasting a normal summon, get a search for a red layer, trigger a search off this. Not bad, not bad. We can go banish the Pantheism, see what we get off of that. It's actually a tough decision because we don't really have anybody to pick randomly for us. So I guess it's only realistic if we reveal 3 different types. So I guess we reveal 2 Stormforth. 2 Stormforth and an Escalation. That's what we'd reveal. And then I'm going to go ahead and say our opponent would give us the Escalation, not wanting us to have a Stormforth. So I'm assuming that's what they're going to give us to be realistic. Like, I don't want to say, oh, they'd probably give us a Stormforth, because I think that'd be a bad idea on their part. So we'll just stick with them giving us the Escalation for now. Kind of a weird setup, but it is what it is. Emergency Teleport will summon out blue layer in defense. It'll get banished in the end phase. Doesn't really matter though. Blue layer effect. Oh, it's not going to even be on the field anyways to get banished. It'll be attributed. Search our red layer. I absolutely love this engine, and that's why I wanted to bump E-Telly up to 2, because literally every game at that tournament I opened E-Telly, I won that game. There was just so much early advantage to be able to get this thing out and get a free search off of it. Which is busted. Return of the Monarchs, we'll activate that. Attributing this away. Trigger its effect, and we'll also trigger blue layer's effect. So we'll go 2-1. We'll get our search. We can go grab a Karaz if we wanted to. Grab a Zaborg. I guess we'll grab another Aether for shits and giggles, I guess. And I guess we're going to have to leave our first turn field like that. Didn't really draw into anything we really needed. Like I said, we had to burn that Pantheism with the Stormforth. Like, we had to do that. Because, like, we wouldn't have, like, had any plays, you know, past that point. I guess we could use... Yeah, no, we could set the Escalation. We still definitely have a play. We still definitely can use Aether during our opponent's turn, and then we get a search off that. So it's actually a pretty decent setup. We can, I want to say, yeah, we can definitely Erebus during our opponent's turn too with that Escalation. So it's actually not a bad turn. Now we have a tribute summon monster. Like, that's again the importance of like the Super Quantum engine, especially being able to draw into that second E-Telly, being able to see it sooner, getting that blue layer out of your hand onto the field, get the search of the red layer. And now that we have Escalation, not only can we, you know, summon for this, you know, as we usually would, because we do have 2 Monarch Spell Traps in grave, and a Tribute Summon monster, but we can also now, you know, summon the Erebus during our opponent's turn as well. And then drawing next turn, Stormforth. Not too bad. Assuming we don't, like, send a Stormforth off one of their effects. I'm happy with that turn. That was, like, 2 pretty decent hands in a row, I think. So we'll do one more, since they're turning out pretty decent. I don't want to make these videos, I don't want to make a habit of making them like too long. I think 20-25 minutes is pretty decent. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this shuffled up one last time and see what our last test hand looks like. Hopefully it's decent. Alright, let's draw another hand. Let's see what we grab here. Adia, Karaz, Erebus, Prime Monarch, and Instant Fusion. Okay. That's a little wonky. It's a little bit of a wonky hand, but I think we can work with it because we do have this. So I'm thinking we just go first turn Erebus, set Prime pass. Like that's gonna be our best bet. So we'll go like this. Please, dear God, don't valor my idea. Please, dear God, do not do that. Don't Ghost Ogre it. Don't do none of that shit. Well, I guess Ghost Ogre wouldn't matter because we'd still hit summon. So if you know what I'm saying. Ghost Ogre that shit if you want. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. None of that shit needs to happen. Actually, if they Ghost Ogred it, we'd still be fucked. Because, well, we could summon Karaz, but I'm not trying to fuck the Karaz, if you know what I'm saying. So we could do this, but we are left with a decision here. We can either summon the Karaz. So basically what we could do is we could set this Prime Monarch, tribute away one of these, go for Karaz, pop Prime, pop one of these two, draw 2 cards, and then see what we could do from there. It's kind of a tough call though, because with Erebus play we knock a card out of their hand. You know, it's kind of a no-brainer, and we can fill up our graveyard with some pretty useful stuff. So actually, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna just do that. We're gonna tribute away these 2 for the Erebus play. I think it's a little bit of a stronger first turn play. So we use this effect to send 2 Monarch spells or trap from deck to grave. Send Prime and Pantheism. Definitely need that. Knock a card out of the hand, shuffle right back into the deck. We'll banish this. Reveal 3 Tenacity. Not going to bother revealing all 3 because we have none on field in hand. We'll reveal the Karaz. And we'll search a Pantheism off that. Because we can finish up with some draw powers, putting this Prime in grave. We definitely need that Prime in grave. Alright, send that, do this, draw cards. That's the wrong side of the deck. What am I doing? We'll just cut it for realisticness, I guess. Tuning and Escalation. That is actually kind of bonkers. We'll go Tuning. Tuning will add us our Quick Draw. Again, this was another engine that was super clutch during the tournament. Anytime I opened Tuning, it was also an amazing game. Like, Tuning was just busted. I kind of want to play 2 Tuning now, or maybe just 2 Quick Draw Sync on the 1 Tuning. So if I do open Quick Draw, Tuning, you know, isn't dead. You know, there's still another target to search. And then we mill the Twin Twister. Uh-oh. Oh well. Then we'll set an Escalation. We can go for Karaz. Next turn, we do have a Zulk in play. And we do have plenty of Primes in grave. So we do definitely have Zulk in play for sure if we don't even need the instant fusion. And next turn draw into Erebus. You know, next turn possibly draw into Erebus or whatever if we don't do anything else. So yeah, that's also a pretty solid turn. Escalation is going to be helpful in us being able to summon out Karaz for disruption. And like I said, we have Prime, so we're most likely not getting OTK'd. We could have set a Prime there during our main turn, and then during their turn standby phase we could summon out Prime as well. So yeah, that was actually a pretty decent turn as well. It turned out pretty good after, you know, that first few, that Pantheism made the hand a lot better. And same thing with that one turn beforehand with the E-Tally. That was also pretty clutch. So yeah, deck is still working really well. Like I said, it was very consistent in the tournament. It only lost to Pendulums. So yeah, very happy with the deck. First test hand video with Extra Deck Monarchs. If you guys enjoyed, if you did, please leave a like. Like I said, if you want to check out the deck profile for this, hopefully I'll remember to put that in the description and stuff like that. I don't know how well this deck is doing at Nats. I really haven't been keeping up with, like I said in the last video. I just got back from an orientation. That's why I've been posting recently, you know, beforehand. So yeah, I'm not really too sure how well it's doing. Maybe if you guys want to inform me on some of that, what the player field looks like, what people are playing, like the majority is. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Just I'll probably figure it out sometime later. And rest in peace, Dueling Network and YGO Pro. Kind of sucks that they're gone. I'm kind of pissed that they're gone. And Dev Pro is probably soon going to follow. But it is what it is. I guess real cards are still cool and I have them, so yeah. But I do feel bad for those that pretty much have nowhere to go now without those things gone. So yeah. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed, and as always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.